Good evening, everyone. Hi. Hope you guys can see me and hear me clearly. The agenda for today's class is that we will discuss doubts related to the topics which have been asked in CAT. Basically, the idea is that I have been doing this as a series on my YouTube channel where we have been discussing previous year papers. So for CAT 2020 for slot 2, I decided to do it in three parts. Part 1 was we did on YouTube yesterday, both 1 and 2, one in the morning and one in the evening. There were a total of 26 questions which were asked in CAT 2020 slot 2. 8 of these questions I discussed in part 1, 8 of these questions I discussed in part 2, and 10 of these questions is what I will be covering now. All of these questions appeared in this particular slot of the paper. So the goal is to give you an idea of what kind of stuff gets asked in the paper, how you can solve it, how you can become better at it. So obviously today's class will help, but to get a bigger picture and a better picture, it will be much better if you go through the other questions as well. Hi Maruti, hi Isha, hi Raju, good to see you guys here. I hope you guys can see me and hear me clearly. So to begin with, let me tell you a little about myself. My name is Ravi Handa. I have been teaching for CAT for close to 15 years now. I've taught at IMS, Time, Career Launcher, all the leading CAT coaching brands. And after that, I started my own website, handagafunda.com, through which I taught 20,000 plus students online. This was recently acquired by Unacademy, and since then, I'm taking classes for Unacademy. Now, as a part of this, I take a lot of free classes on YouTube as well. To get updates about them, I would recommend that you join my Telegram group. I have pinned the link to my Telegram group so that you can get all the necessary and the latest updates over there. As you might know, on Unacademy, there are two kinds of courses which are offered. A, the plus courses where you get live classes in a structured way, that is do this, and do this. And other than that, you get the iconic courses as well. The main or the key difference in these is the personalized guidance part. Basically, you get everything which is there in the plus courses. Along with that, you get personalized guidance in the iconic classes as well. What do I mean by personalized guidance? Well, this is a one-on-one live mentorship program which is provided to you, in which you can clarify your doubts, discuss exam strategy, and you can do all of this with graduates from top B schools like I'm Ahmedabad, I'm Bangalore, so on and so forth. If you are targeting CAT 21, then my recommendation to you would be to go in for the 6-month plan, which is for 16,400. You can use the coupon code HANDA in this to get a 10% off. On the other hand, if you are looking at CAT 22, then my recommendation would be to go in for the iconic plan. 12-month pricing for that is for 39,500. Once again, if you use the coupon code HANDA, you'll get a 10% off on the same. And the reason why I'm recommending the 12-month plan for CAT 22 is because you get 3 additional months free with that. So right now it's August going on. If you get the subscription now, at August will be valid till August 22. Another 3 extra months means that it will be valid till October 22. And that much time would be good enough for you to prepare for the same. That being said, this is the first. So are you guys, if you have any questions about CAT preparation, you can please ask me. If not, we can start off with the questions. Just write a yes or give me a thumbs up so that I can start with the questions which are there. Okay, I am going ahead. This is the first question on your screen. Any ideas or suggestions how you are going to solve this? In a car race, car A beats car B by 45. car B beats car C by 50, car A beats car C by 90. So suppose these are my three cars. A is beating B by 45. That means in the time that A covers the complete race, suppose that is distance T, B will cover D minus 45. In the time car B beats car C by 50 kilometers, that means in the time car B covers 50, car B covers D, C covers only D minus 50, it is 50 meters behind, so it will need to cover the extra 50 to complete the race. And car A beats C by 90. So A beats C by 90, so that is D minus 90. If A covers D, C covers D minus 90. Now we need to find out the value of D. How can I do that? I know that the speeds of these cars will be directly proportional to the distances that they cover. And if they are going to be directly proportional, then speed of B by speed of C is going to remain a constant. What is the speed of B and C here? And I don't know that. What are the distances that they cover? In the first case, they cover D minus 45, D minus 90. In the second case, they cover D and D minus 50. So that's what they need to cover. Let's have a look at that and solve for D. So what do I need to do? D minus 45 into D minus 50 is equal to D into D minus 90. So this is D square minus 95D minus 45 into 50 will be 2250, which is D square minus 90D. So D square cancels. 95D minus 90D is 5D. 5D equal to 2250. So the value of D comes out as 2250 by 5 or 450 meters. Do I have that in the options? Yes, I have that in the options as option 2. Rakesh, I don't think so. You just need to take the ratios. All you can do is put in the options, but putting in the options, and I don't think this will take more than 2 minutes in the exam. This is pretty short. Maybe I'm solving it and I'm writing it. That's why you're thinking it is taking so long. But you just need to take the ratios. It will not take so long in the exam. How about this one? How will you find this out? Please try this. Let the mth term and the nth term of a geometric progression be 3 by 4 and 12. Okay. So where m is less than n. So this term will come first. There will be a few terms in between, and then there will be 12. If the common ratio of the progression is an integer which is r. So first of all, what can be this integer? Now, if I multiply, I can just quickly check what is 12 by 3 by 4. So this is 4 into 4 or 16, which means my series could be of 2 terms where the common ratio is 16, or what else is possible? Or it could be, yes, 4, so 3 by 4. Next term is 3 by 4 into 4. Next term is 3 by 4 into 16. So in this case, there are 3 terms and the common ratio is 4. Or it could be 2. So 3 by 4 into 2, which will be, I think instead of, I will rather write this as 3 by 4, 3 and 12, where the common ratio was 4, or 3 by 4, 3 by 2, 3, 6 and 12, where the common ratio is 2. Anything else? Common ratio 4, common ratio 2, or the common ratio 16? The question is asking me for the minimum value of R plus N minus M. Are there any other values which are possible? First of all, any other values of R which are possible, which are integers? That is what my first question to you is. Rakesh or anyone else, can you tell me any other possible value of R which will give me a GP series? Well, there is one value which I hope you guys will not miss in the exam. R could be plus or minus 4. So when you got R equal to 4, these are your terms, whereas half is not an integer, Rakesh. We need integers. It could be 3 by 4, minus 3 and 12, where R is minus 4. It could be 3 by 4, minus 3 by 2, 3, minus 6 and 12, where R is minus 2. So all of these options are possible. All of these options are possible, and that is why you need to, be careful with this. We tend to forget the negative, absolutely, and that's what you don't need to do here. So if you do not forget the negative, and now you need to do R plus N minus M, and we are supposed to find out the smallest possible value of that. Okay. So if we are trying to find out the minimum possible value of this, clearly R will be the smallest. So R will be the negative value. So I can take R as minus 4, or I can take R as minus 2. N minus M. In this case, 1, 2 and 3. So there are 2 gaps. If this is the first term, this is the third term. So N minus M in this case is 2. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 4 terms. So this is 4. So in this case, you get the value as minus 4 plus 2 or minus 2. In this case, you get the value as plus 2. What am I asked? Smallest possible value. I think minus 2 will come out as the smallest possible value, because you cannot go less than that. You cannot go less than that, and you will get the minus 2 value when R is minus 4, and my terms are this. This is the case which will give us the minimum value. Are you okay with this, Rakesh? Okay. Just a reminder, we have multiple batches for CAT preparation which are starting. A couple of batches just started for CAT 21 on the 7th of August. There's another one on the 11th of August, that is today. And we also have a batch which started recently for CAT 22. You can go ahead and join any of these batches. When you do, you can use the coupon code HANDA to get a 10% discount on the same. I would like to add that my DI course is now live on Unacademy. So if you are an enrolled user, you can just go ahead and join this particular course. In this course, I'm taking classes Monday to Thursday, and I will be covering the complete DI syllabus in this. So my recommendation, my request to you would be to please try this out as well. How about this? This one is on the simpler side. How will you calculate this? How will you find this one out? Sum of money is split. Probably the easiest question that I can think of, in CAT 2020. Amal, Sunil and Meeta, so that the ratio of Amal and Sunil is 3:2. The ratio of Sunil and Neeta is 4:5. Then, first of all, what will be A is to S is to M, the overall ratio? Sunil is common. So 3:2, I will write that as 6:4, which means my overall ratio will be 6:4:5. What is given to me? The difference between the largest and the smallest is 400. Largest is this, smallest is this. The gap between them is 2, which is of 400. So if 2 is 400, 6 is 1200, 4 is 800, 5 is 1000. What am I asked? I'm asked for Sunil's share. So Sunil's share is 800. Now tell me, how is this fair that you get such a chindi, such an easy question like this and such a difficult question like this? See, because it's not easy to visualize what you need to do in this question. You know, to take the ratio, then find out all the terms, number of terms and all that. Even if you do, I'm telling you, 90% of the people will forget the negative sign in this case. And this question is 1 mark. This question is 1 mark. So please understand, I say it very often, I will repeat it. CAT is not an exam where you are supposed to solve tough question. CAT is an exam where you are supposed to identify the easy questions. If you become good at identifying easy questions, you will get a very, very good score. You will get, even to get to 95 percentile in a section or a 98, 99 overall, all you need to do is identify easy, identify hard, do the easy, skip the hard. Easier said than done. It's very easy to say that. But in the paper, in the exam pressure, you will think, oh, such a small question, such a big question, where I'll understand it or not. There are lots of worries that students have. The only way to overcome that is to go through previous year papers and hopefully go through previous year papers with a teacher so that you understand that how these questions should be interpreted. Please try this one. Fx is x square plus ax plus b. Gx is fx plus 1 minus fx minus 1. Okay, long complicated stuff. Fx is greater than 0 for all real x. These are conditions. I'll start with this. G20 is given to me as 72. What is G20? G20 will be f of 21 minus f of 19, and that is given to me as 72. What is f of 21? Fx is 21 square plus 21a plus b minus 19 square plus 19a plus b, and this is equal to 72. How much is 21 square minus 19 square? 21 square minus 19 square is a minus b, which is 2 into a plus b. So this is 80 minus 21a minus 19a is minus 2a is 72, which gives me 2a as 8, or it gives me the value of a as 4. Once I have obtained a as 4, I get fx as x square plus 4x plus b, and we want it to be greater than or equal to 0. And we want, then what can be the smallest value of b? B minimum I need to find out for this. Now, can you look at it and tell me what value of b you can take, or what can you do here? How do you find out the minimum value of b? There are two ways of doing this. Can you suggest even one of them? That if this is the equation which is given to you, if this is the equation which is given to you, how will you figure out what is the minimum value of b? Anyone? See, one way is you use the formulas for the quadratic, which is valid. I'm not questioning that. I'm not saying that is wrong, but that will be time consuming. You need to visualize what the graph will look like. The other thing what you can do is you can rewrite this equation as x square plus 4x plus 4 plus b minus 4 is less than equal to 0, which means this is x plus 2 whole square plus b minus 4 is greater than equal to 0. Now, why did I write it like this? Because I know a perfect square, this will always be greater than equal to 0. Which means my question is now reduced to b minus 4 is always greater than equal to 0. And if b minus 4 is always greater than equal to 0, what is the minimum value of b? The minimum value of b is 4. That is given to me as option 1. Rakesh, Satun has joined us. Welcome, Satun. Hi, Aditya. Are you guys okay with this? Rakesh, Satun, please let me know if you have any doubts or any questions with this. The key in this question is not this part. People will come till this step, I believe, and then they will get stuck. Going from here to here is the real challenge. That is the key difference. And that is why I will put this question in the hard category. Because looking at it, when you first look at it, you cannot really say it is easy or hard. G20 is given to you, you will do all these calculations, and then you will get to here, and then you will get stuck. This is the, one of the worst questions. Why? Because if a question is hard, then you don't start it, you leave it. This question you will start, and then you will get stuck in the middle. So you will waste time also. This is a time waster question. So as you know, there are multiple special classes that I conduct on the Unacademy app. This is to give you an idea of the features of these special classes. I'm coming up with another special class today at 7 p.m. in which we will be discussing LRDI. So Satun, Aditya, Rakesh, I hope you guys will join me in the 7 p.m. class as well. One of the key benefits of these special classes is that you will be able to download, this particular PPT. You will be able to download this particular PPT, and as you can see, there are lots of interactive features which are also there. Try this. Again, very simple question. I think one good, one bad, one hard, one easy question is coming. For the same principal amount, the compound interest for 2 years at 5% exceeds the simple interest for 3 years at 3% per annum by 1125. Okay. Suppose the amount you have is 100x. 1 year later, at 5% compound interest, it will become 105x. Then another 5% of this will be 5.25. So 110.25x is what this will become. 3% simple interest. 3% simple interest will be 100x. 1 year later, 103x. 2 years later, 106x. 3 years later, 109x. What is the gap? What is the gap between them? The gap between them is 110.25. So this is 1.25x, and that is given to me, and this 1.25x is given to me as 1125, which means the value of x is 1125 by 1.25, that is 900. And if x comes out as 900, my principal was 100x or 90,000. Can you see how easy this is? This question will not even take a minute. I took a little bit of a time because I was using an on-screen calculator to calculate these values. But that's it. There is no thinking which is required in this. Just simple 5% simple interest, compound interest, 5%, 3% simple interest, The gap between them is 1.25x, which is 1125 rupees. That's all that you needed to do in this particular question. So that's the point that I have been, trying to make for a while, that questions can be really easy or really difficult. Your job is to identify them. Welcome, Shweta. I just noticed Shweta has joined us. Hi, Shweta. On Unacademy, on every weekday, you will be able to give a skill building test. So these tests actually help you prepare for the exam, not by giving you direct exam questions, but stuff which is related to the exams. So please try this one out. How will you solve this? What will you do in this? Two circular tracks, T1 and T2 of radii 100 meters and 20 meters. Okay. So two tracks, they touch at a point A. So this is my point A. Starting from A, at the same time, Ram and Rahim are walking on the track at T1 and T2 at 15 km per hour and 5 km per hour respectively. There is a guy which is covering this at 15 km per hour. There is a guy, Rahim, who is covering this at 5 km per hour. The number of rounds that Ram will make, this is being covered by Ram, this is being covered by Rahim. Let me call this as 1, let me call this as 2. So what we are given here is speed of 1 by speed of 2 is 15 by 5 or 3 by 1. The distance of track 1 by distance of 2 will be equal to the radii of track 1 to the radii of track 2, which is 120. So that is 5 by 1. So I have the ratio of the speeds, I have the ratio of the distances. What will be the ratio of the times that they will take? So if I'm asking you for T1 by T2, what will that be? So T1 will be D1 by S1, T2 will be D2 by S2, which means D1 by D2 into S2 by S1, D1 by D2 is 5 by 1 and S2 by S1 is 1 by 3. So we can say that the time that they will take to finish one lap is in the ratio of 5:3. So if the times that they take to finish one lap is in the ratio of 5:3, that means the number of full rounds that Ram will make till he meets Rahim for the first time. Suppose Ram will finish one loop in 5 seconds, Rahim will finish one loop in 3 seconds. So when will they meet? They will meet after 15 seconds. In that period, Ram would have made 3 laps, Rahim would have made 5 laps. What is the question? Number of full rounds that Ram will make before he meets Rahim again for the first time. So by that point of time, Ram would have made 3 laps. Little confusing because so many values are there. You are given a ratio of speed, you are given a ratio of distances. From that, you find out the ratio of the time taken. Once you find out the ratio of the time taken, you find out the number of laps that they will make, which comes out as 3 and 5. We were asked how many laps Ram will make. We found that out as 3 laps is what Ram is going to make. Gulab has also just joined us. Rakesh, Satun, Gulab, are you guys okay with this question? Please tell me if you have an issue with this. Okay. This one is related to geometry. Again, this one is on the harder side because there are a lot of calculations which are involved. So what do I do after this? How do I start with this? Forget after. Okay, let me explain it in case there are no suggestions which are coming in. The sum of the perimeters of an equilateral triangle and a rectangle is 90. So this is an equilateral triangle. This is a rectangle. The sum of their perimeters is 90. The area T of the triangle and that of R, the rectangle, both in square, satisfy the relationship R equal to T square. Okay. The sides of the rectangle are in the ratio of 1:3. So if I take this as B, then this will be 3B, and I take this as A. Now, what are the things which are given to me? One thing which is given to me is sum of the perimeters is 90. So that is 3A plus B, 3B, B, 3B, 6 into 8B is given to me as 90. That is one equation. The other one is R equal to T square. So the R is the area of this, T is the area of this. What is R? R is B into 3B or 3B square. The area for T is root 3 by 4 into the side square, and we will have to square this completely, which will mean 3B square is 3 by 16 of A to the power 4. 3 and 3 cancels. A to the power 4 is 16B square, or this gives me or rather, instead of this, let me get B in terms of A. So B will be A square by 4. Once I have B is A square by 4, there are two things that I can do. One is I can put this in the equation and then calculate the answer because I will get a quadratic. Another thing that I can do is I can use the options. I believe putting it options would be a little bit faster. So let's see. Then the longer left side of the rectangle is how much? So it says the value of 3B is 27. That means my option 1 says B equal to 9. If I put B equal to 9, that means A square is 4 into 9 or 36, or A comes out as 6. Now I've got the value of B, I've got the value of A from one equation. If it satisfies this equation, my job is done. Let's see if it does. 3 into A or 3 into 6 plus 8 into B or 8 into 9 comes out as 18 plus 72, which is 90. So yes, I got lucky. D equal to 9 is satisfying. That means option 1 or 27 will be my answer. Now it is quite possible you will not get so lucky in the exam that the first option is correct. But trust me, even if you don't get lucky, it is going to be a lot easier to, find out the answer this way rather than putting it in the quadratic and calculating it, because that will take too much time and effort, in my opinion. Still, since we have done so much, let's do that as well. So we have 3a plus 8b. What is b? b is a square by 4, which is equal to 90. So this is 2a square plus 3a minus 90 equal to 0. So 180 with a gap of 12. I think 2a square plus 15a minus 12a minus 90 equal to 0 will work, which is, I can take a common. Did I make some calculation mistake in this? B is a square by 4, so 2a square, 36, 72 and 18, so 2a square, 72 plus 90. So what can I take common? I can take a common. So 2a plus 15. From second part, I can take minus 6 common. So I'll be left with 2a plus 15 equal to 0. Oh, okay. I'm getting a minus 6 as one of the factors, which is what I wanted. And 2a plus 15 equal to 0. So I get the value of a as 6 or minus 7.5. And that means 6 will be the answer that we are looking for. Because negative value is not possible. A is the side. So minus 7.5 is not possible. 6 will be the answer here. But once again, I would recommend that you use the options in this case instead of just calculating the entire thing. So we have started, campus placement trainings as well. For taking part in these, if you register today, because I believe today is 11th, you will get a free personal mock interview along with a group discussion as well. So if you're planning to register for campus placement training, please go ahead and do that. Once again, when you are registering for any of the courses, please note you can use the coupon code HANDA to get a 10% discount. Let's try out this question on log. How will you find this? How will you calculate it? Log a by b to the base a means log a to the base a minus log b to the base a plus log b by a, so log b to the base b minus log a to the base b. So how much is this? Log a to the base a is 1 minus log b by log a plus log b to the base b is 1 minus log a to the by log b, which is 2 minus log a by log b plus log b by log a. This is what we have. This is what we have. Now I am told 1 a is positive but less than b. If a is positive but less than b, then log a and log b and log b and log a, all of these are positive values. All of these are positive values. Then this cannot be equal to what? So I know all of these are positive values. So my answer has to be less than 2. All my options are less than 2. What do I do? What do I do in this? I know my answer has to be less than 2, but all my values are already less than 2. So what do I do from here? How do I proceed with this? Log will be positive. See, both the values are greater than 1, so this will, all these terms will be positive. It cannot be equal to what? Please focus on the part that I am putting in a circle. The part that I am putting in a circle is like P by Q plus Q by P. Or I can say that it is like X plus 1 by X. What do you know about X plus 1 by X? X plus 1 by X is always greater than or equal to 2. X plus 1 by X will always be greater than or equal to 2, which means this particular value, what I have inside, so basically 2 minus y, 2 minus y, where y is greater than equal to 2, where y is always greater than equal to 2, which means 2 minus y. See, I have y is always greater than equal to 2, then if you look at it, if you take y to the other side, you get 2 minus y is less than or equal to 0, which means my answer for this entire thing has to be less than equal to 0. So 0 is fits, minus 0.5 fits, minus 1 fits. It can never be 1. It can never be 1, and that's why my answer will be option 3 here. Let me just remove this. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this value will always be less than equal to 0. If it is less than equal to 0, it can be 0, it can be minus 0.5, it can be minus 0.1. It can never be, it cannot be equal to minus 1. Rakesh has already pointed that out. Thank you, Rakesh, for giving the correct answer here. How about this? How are you going to calculate this, find this out? Oh, it cannot be minus 1. I'm sorry, it cannot be 1. It cannot be 1. It can be 0. It can be minus 0.5. It can be minus 1. So, how many pairs of integers can be chosen such that x square minus 2 mod x plus a minus 2 is equal to 0? See, the first thing that I will do in this question is I will take mod x as y. Why? Because x square is mod x square, so I have y square minus 2y plus mod of a minus 2 equal to 0. Now we want this to be equal to 0. How is that possible, considering that these have to be integers? And this will always be positive value, a minus 2. Case 1, y square minus 2y plus 0 equal to 0. So in this case, y into y minus 2 is 0, or y is 0 or 2. Okay. Case 2, y square minus 2y. Please note that this can only be an integer. This can only be an integer because x and a are integers. So I can take it as plus 1 equal to 0, which means that, what is this? This is y minus 1 whole square equal to 0, which means y is equal to 1. Okay, that's another solution. Now, is there any other case that can exist? See, please note, if I take y square minus 2y plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, if I take any of these values, You will never get a solution. You will never get a solution. Do you guys agree with this? So I considered three cases. One when a minus 2 was 0, one when a minus 2 was 1, one when a minus 2 was 2, 3, 4 or any other values. You will not get any solution. So these are the solutions that are possible. Yes, because the discriminant in this case will be less than 0. Once I have that, there isn't much left in the question. So in this question, if y is equal to 0, that means mod x equal to 0, which means x is equal to 0. Also mod of a minus 2 equal to 0. That means a equal to 2. And the other case, mod x equal to 2 when y equal to 2, which means x is plus minus 2. So what all combos can you form? X comma a. X comma a can be 0 comma 2, or x can be 2 comma 2 or minus 2 comma 2. These are the three solutions you get in case 1. Very similarly, you look at the solutions for case 2. Here y is equal to 1. That means mod x equal to 1. That means x is plus 1 or minus 1. Very similarly, mod of a minus 2 equal to 1. That means a can be 1 or 3. Now, what are the solutions which are possible? When x is 1, it could be 1, 1, 1, 3. When x is minus 1, so it could be minus 1, 1 or minus 1, 3. So my total number of solutions, in case 1, I got 3 solutions. In case 2, I got 4 solutions. If I got 3 solutions and 4 solutions, my total number of solutions is 3 plus 4 equal to 7. Once again, I will put this question in the hard category, not because any of these values are difficult or solving is difficult, simply because you have to find out so many cases in this. See, in questions like this, where you have to find out so many cases, you might miss just one value and see what will happen. If you miss one value, answer will be 6 there in the option. If you miss 2 values, answer will be 5 there in the options. So that's the problem with questions like this, that even if you miss one small case, you will, get the wrong answer. And that is why such sort of questions should be avoided in the exam. Just a reminder, every Sunday we conduct a scholarship test at 12 o'clock. And you can take part in this scholarship test by using the coupon code HANDA. The toppers in the test get the 1-year subscription for free, and the others get significant scholarships. So I can see for those of you who are not enrolled, please try out the scholarship test. Maybe that will help you. Unacademy, for its paid students, also has another feature called Ask a Doubt, where you can click a picture, send it to us. Either me or someone from our team will clarify that doubt for you. And I believe we are towards the end. Most probably this is the last question that we have for today. So please try this one out. Please tell me what's the answer that you will get. How will you find this? Any ideas, any suggestions to calculate this and find this out? Welcome, Mahima. Maybe Mahima will give us some ideas. Let C be a circle of radius 5 meters having the center at O. Let me draw a circle. Center is O. Then be a PQ be a chord of C that passes through points A and B, where A is located 4 meters north. So my total radius is 5, so A is 4 meters north. B is located 3 meters east, so total radius is 5, so B is 3 meters east, somewhere here. The length of PQ, okay, so this is my chord which will pass through these 2 points. So this is my chord. Then what I can do is I can join these points. Now, the question is asking me for the length of PQ. First of all, this is given to me as 4. This is given to me as 3. Let me call these points as M and N. How much will be Mn? I can apply Pythagoras here. So Mn will be 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. So Mn will be 5. Hope you guys are okay with this. The value of Mn as 5. Then from O, suppose I drop a perpendicular, OC. Now, first of all, my ask from you is, how do I find out the value of OC? See, because OC is a perpendicular from the center, so it will divide the chord into 2 equal parts. PC will be equal to QC. So my job will become a little bit easier if I can somehow find out the value of OC. See, think about it. I'm redrawing the triangle OCP. So OCP. OP is the radius. I know that is 5. If I can find out OC, I will find out CP, and the length of PQ will be double of CP. So my job has now reduced to finding out the value of OC. And how can I do that? What should I do? How do I calculate the value of OC? Rakesh is saying OC is 2.4. Rakesh, how do you know that? How can you claim that it is 2.4? Absolutely. Rakesh is absolutely right. Please consider the triangle AOB. In the triangle AOB, what is its area? It will be half into the base into the height, which are 3 and 4. Another way of finding out the area is half if you consider Mn as the base. Because if you consider Mn as the base, then the height will be OC, which gives me the value of OC as half and half cancels. 3 into 4, 12 by 5, which is 2.4. Once I get the value of OC in my triangle OCP, this is 5, this is 2.4. The value of PC will be root of 5 square minus 2.4 square, which is how much? No, 25 minus 2.4 square is 5.76. 5.76 is square root of 19.24, which means 19.24. I don't know exactly how much will be square root of 19.24 will be, but I know that, square root of 16 is 4 square root of 16 is 4, square root of 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5. So this will be 4 point something, maybe 4.4, 4.5 roughly. And if PC is 4.5, then PQ was twice of PC. So it will be approximately 9. Let's check if I have an option. So 7.8, 7.2, 6.6, they're clearly ruled out because this is definitely more than 4. If this is definitely more than 4, my answer for PQ is definitely more than 8. Only one of them can even come remotely close to the answer, and that is going to be 8.8. Are you guys okay with this? This is a good question. If you're comfortable with geometry, you should be able to attempt this in the exam. I will put this in the medium category. I'll put this in the medium category. Rakesh, are you okay with this? I think he calculated most of it. Okay, let's go ahead. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this class, I have bunch of other classes in which I'll be discussing previous year questions. For example, on 16th of August, I'll be covering slot 3, and I'll be covering slot 3 in just 2 parts. I'll be covering slot 3 in 2 parts, so please come and attend those classes at 5 and 7 p.m. And then for CAT 2019, I'll be covering this in the week after that. 1 class daily at 10 a.m. and in the evening of at 5 p.m. is when the other class would be. So I hope you will join me for all of those classes. In case you're planning to register for any of the courses, please use the coupon code HANDA. If you have any doubts from today's class or otherwise that you want to discuss, you can send me your emails on hkfdoubt@gmail.com. I hope you learned something from today's class. I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you did, please provide positive feedback at the end. The better feedback that I get, more such free classes I'll be allowed to take on the platform. And on that note, bye Rakesh, thanks for taking part. Kalpit, Akil, Mahima, I believe you guys joined us for a little bit later. Maybe you guys can come back at 7 p.m. when we will discuss LRTI. So please follow me on Unacademy for getting all the class links and notifications. I have another class at 7 p.m. in which I'll discuss LRTI. Hope to see you then. Bye guys.